Reggie Miller finally has an open shot, and he makes it count. He's on the board, just a 2.
And you can see Ron Harper getting himself a little bit caught behind that pick, and you can see the grimace on his face. Once you get Reggie that space, it's all over.
9-2 run. Harper missed the layup. The Bulls have missed a couple of those. But we are tied at 12. 3:40 to play in the first quarter. Mark Jackson. Good look inside from McKee to Smits, who rolls in the right-hand hook.
It's like I said, get it in closer. There's nothing that Bill Whittington or anyone else on the team can do. Rick Smits, they really have a huge advantage and take advantage of it.
And a whistle as Harper was handling on the far side.
An opportunity to see Dennis Rodman using those elbows, and they got themselves a double foul right there. And although it doesn't look like much on the screen, they're trying to control this game and make sure it does not get out of hand. Both teams are really into it.
Jordan on the pull-up is short. Battle for the rebound is won by McKee.
You know, and for Indiana, it is a key role for them that really control the boards. If they control the boards, I think they will give Chicago every bit of the series, if not even win it, because they've been out-rebounded throughout the series, and they still win.
Beautiful delivery to McKee, but he couldn't convert Jackson's assist. Indiana has a rebounding deficit in the regular season and the postseason, and the Bulls, of course, best rebounding team in the league, thanks to Rodman. Jordan was double-teamed and fouled. If that's on McKee, it'll be number 2.
You know, it's interesting. I'm watching Michael Jordan and seeing if he's going to show any emotions. You know, Mark, during the season, Indiana and over his career, Indiana has been one of the teams that have gotten under his skin just about on every occasion. You know, he threw the ball at Mark Jackson the last time they played, got himself a technical, and he's had a couple skirmishes with Miller.
Well, of course, in the Western Conference, which started yesterday, the mailman delivered, as did the entire bench, as they won Game 1 of their Western Conference matchup with the LA Lakers by 35 points.
Well, I don't know if it helps. They're talking about that series. If you get beat by 2 or by 35, a loss is a loss, but I'm interested to see how they respond.
Derek McKee against Kokoc, trying to back him in. Kokoc would not give up ground, but he will pick up the foul. We don't see Tony Kokoc do much admirably as a defender. That time he held his ground, but will pick up the personal.
Yeah, and McKee actually initiated that contact, but because of Tony Kukoc's poor defensive habits, they're going to call that on him every time.
McKee going to go right to work again. Into the lane, kicks it out. Now to the corner to Mullen for 3. Air ball. That is a newsworthy item. Chris Mullen rarely will throw up the air ball. Indiana front court bolstered by Dale Davis, who is now on the bench with 2 fouls. Jordan misses the patented turnaround. Antonio Davis, just into the game, gets his first board.
Yeah, and their front court for Indiana is much better right now because of Longley's ineffectiveness as well as Kukoc, but they have what it takes.
Reggie Miller missed the 3. Pippen has the uncontested rebound. Tied at 14, buck 42. Left in the first quarter. Kukoc on the cut. Misses the driving shot. And a whistle. They're going to call the foul against McKee, who got the rebound, had the ball in his hand, but swung the elbow and apparently connected.
Yeah, you cannot swing your elbows like that and I expect to get a foul. Watch right here. McKee gets it, and then he's swinging out. And although that seems like a harmless play, you know Dennis Rodman is going to stand there until you throw the ball out. Gets it right in the chop. And I mean, Dennis is not flopping. He hit him. That's just like a blow with your fit.
So Derek McKee now twice has responded to Dennis Rodman, picked up fouls both times, and he now has 3. So he will have to go right back to the bench. Pippen rejected by Antonio Davis. Ahead of the pack, it's Miller. And Indiana has retaken the lead.
And I think Antonio Davis is the unsung hero for that defensive unit, especially for the second unit. He comes in, he blocks shots. We've seen him do it against the Knicks, and now he's doing it. If you do not go to the hole strong, you're not going to get that off, especially with Antonio Davis.
Kokoc gets it back from Rodman. Now needs help. Jordan inside, adjusts, around and out, and missed his own follow.
And if you notice the way Antonio Davis rebounds, he cradles the ball. He doesn't get the elbows up. He swallows it with both arms.
Jalen Rose for three, and Indiana has jumped back up by 5.
And I like what Indiana's doing right now. There's no fear with this team, Mark. They expect and feel like they should be here, and they're playing that way. And Chicago has to come back.
Kokoc inside to Rodman, who is wrapped up by Mark Jackson. Number 2 on Mark Jackson, who is engaging in a banter. Now, the Pacers said they weren't going to let Rodman's antics affect him.
You know, but you can't help it. If Dennis Rodman is whacking at you while the refs are walking away, then you feel inclined to hit him. This is a good foul. But then it's afterwards, he hits Mark with the ball. Mark feels he can throw it back. Now he's doing it, and he's not looking at the watch when he's walking away. Slap at the ball. Look, Mark... And you can't help, you cannot help yourself when Dennis is doing that, and he sits there and says it wasn't him. The rest, Mark, he does it when no one's looking, so you're inclined to want to throw the ball at the back of his head because he's doing it when he shouldn't be doing it. Then he begs at the refs to say it wasn't me, but what happens with that technical foul, it takes him out of the game. He cannot do anything else that's going to remotely come close to getting another technical because then he's done.
So he's been served notice. Mark Jackson will have to sit down with 2 personals as Rodman makes the first free throw. We look at his playoff career as far as rebounds, and he has been stellar, to say the least.
Stellar is right. I mean, 37 by no means is old, but in basketball terms, you're pretty much extinct at 37. He's pretty much getting it done on a nightly basis.
It's a 4-point Pacer lead. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. The Bulls making the Pacers use some time bringing it up. Travis Best now running the point for Indiana.
Well, you cannot press Travis Best at all. He is just too quick for people. But I think right here is where Indiana has the advantage. Their bench is so much more better and productive.
And Jalen Rose off that bench made the fine backdoor pass to the cutting Reggie Miller. 7 points for Miller. Scott Burrell just into the game. Air ball from 3. Rodman keeps it alive, but can't get it back down. We have come to the end of the first quarter. The Pacers jumped out quickly, thanks to Michael Jordan's 1 for 7 field goal shooting. The Bulls came back, but a strong finish to the first by Indiana gives them the lead as we approach the start of the second. Between the 2 off guards.
Well, right now, Jordan is struggling because the rest of the team has not stepped up, and Reggie Miller's getting a lot of easy baskets. But if you look at, they're very similar because both teams need their guy to go out there and score, but they're also pretty good defenders, too, and they're going head-to-head. That makes it tough.
Kokoc, the up fake on Mullen, the miss. Scottie Pippen was fighting for the loose ball. There will be a foul on the Pacers. Goes against Travis Best. Jordan has 6 points to lead the Bulls, but only 1 field goal. And another foul. That is Mark Pope, who is into the game. He does not get much action, particularly in the playoffs. 6 of the 9 previous playoff games, he did not get on the floor.
Yeah, the rookie from Kentucky, another Kentucky product. I tell you what, they are high on him because he's active and he plays very hard.
Dennis Rodman, with a rare offensive creation, took it to the basket and drew the UEFA Champions League final, which will pit Juventus versus Real Madrid, 2 of the great stars of the game. Alessandro Del Piero versus Roberto Carlos. We will have all that action for you live right here on ESPN. It's a 7-point Pacer lead, just under 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Mark Brown along with Tate George, and I guess as expected, this Pacer club has been a game opponent for the defending champs.
And if you notice, Tony Kokoc is now out of the game, and I said, if he didn't hit those shots, they're going to have to look to take him out.
Wennington misses, but Ron Harper doing a job on the boards. Wennington from the free throw line this time. Rodman trying for the offensive board, and it was last touched by the Pacers. Well, Dennis Rodman has given the effort since he's been in the game.
Well, for Dennis, you know, that is his game, and if he doesn't give the effort, then he's got to come out. And I think that's the same thing with Tony Kokoc, although Tony looks to score a little bit more.
Jordan, the fadeaway. Still can't get the roll.
And you know it's amazing, too. We saw Shaq yesterday struggle with his legs. And for Michael right now, Chicago's shooting a whopping 23%. And for Michael, those fallaways, when they're not falling, that really hurts his game because he doesn't have that elevation in his game that he used to.
Jalen Rose off the dribble move, rattles it out. Here comes Pippen. 2 minutes left, down 7. It just keeps getting worse. 9 for 40 on the game is what Chicago has shot. And, you know, you can't discredit the Indiana defense, but they've missed a lot of layups and open shots. Mark Jackson operating down low.
He's at his best right now. He is definitely at his best. He's playing extremely well. His 11th season in this league, and he seems to be peaking at the right time.
8 consecutive misses from the field for the Bulls. Were it not for their great advantage from the line today, they'd be getting blown out. Wennington finally hits on his patented 18-footer.
And finally it was right. And if you notice in that triangle, it seems to be a little off sync. Michael cut before the ball actually got to where it's supposed to be on the weak side. And that's a small indication that it's not all in sync, obviously, from the score. But when the triangle's not working, then Michael has to go off on his own.
And he has made only 1 field goal so far. Jalen Rose, one-on-one move doesn't go. Antonio Davis was stripped by Wennington, who's got his hands on a few balls today. Here comes Pippen, driving to the basket, and sent back home by Rodman. That may be the wake-up call the Bulls and their fans have been looking for.
But they definitely need it going into the half. Cannot afford to get too far down on this veteran team.
Jackson missed the runner, and a foul that'll go against the Bulls.
Scotty with the excellent crossover. And then Rodman noticing that Smith is not there, comes in and cleans it up for the finish. It's just understanding the game. Not many people, other than Jason Williams, I think, understands how to read those rebounds that come off the rim.
Indiana likes their position and will be patient on their final possession of the first half. Miller gets it to Jackson for 3. Bulls still have time. Pippen to Rodman with the left hand. Dennis Rodman has been a spark. Jackson spinning, still with time. But it falls harmlessly away as Dennis Rodman has energized this crowd. The Bulls have been woeful shooting the ball, but he's made all the difference.
Yeah, who's to say that he cannot carry this team? Michael's struggling. Scotty has not gotten it off as well. Look at him running the floor. The deer.
Sandwiched around halftime, a 12-0 run by the Chicago Bulls, and they have the 3-point lead.
Well, what happens, too, when a team comes out and gets that momentum, Dennis Rodman with that easy layup, then they say, okay, we played our worst half, as you see Hart miss. Now let's go out and play better and go at this team.
Harper's 10 points now leads all scorers. Mark Jackson against Scottie Pippen setting up that Pacer offense. He's in trouble, needs some help. Dale Davis going strong. He was hacked on the way in by Ron Harper.
And Dale Davis is a right-hand dominant player. And you can expect him to try to dunk at every opportunity. And Hart realized that and didn't want the momentum to swing. Decided to take the foul and make him earn it.
And it's always good practice to put this man on the free throw line. Just a 46% shooter on the season. And he misses the first. There are his numbers. Significant drop-off and everything but reboundings in the second round.
Well, it dropped off because Antonio Davis is playing so well. He's getting the ball for the minute. Patel just needs to compete, not worry about free throws. He's not, as you said, not a good free throw shooter, but still has to come out and play.
Luke Longley will be called for a travel, and perhaps he's lucky because that looked like an offensive foul waiting to happen.
Exactly, and if Dale Davis had fallen down, he might have gotten that call. Good call, Mark. And he has to really be leery of that. As you see, Mark Jackson still having his way here, trying to get it up the court against Scotty.
Jackson into the lane, finds Smits for the 15-footer. Pippen high for the rebound, breaking out. It's a 3-on-4. Jordan will shoot it anyway. Oh, he still can't get a break, but Longley's there.
The Australian sensation right there for the putback. So Michael, now you can see him, two guys on him. He decided it's time for me to start getting myself into this game. Pulls up. Although he missed, that's still a good sign.
Poked away by Longley. Jordan setting up the spin move. Now the fadeaway. And the Bulls are on a 16-0 run.
They need a timeout to slow down Chicago. Mike's finally waking up.
Indiana has yet to score in the third quarter, but the Bulls have put up 10. Indiana and Chicago, the Bulls have turned a deficit into a lead. And here is a reason why.
Well, Michael Jordan pulls up, not falling for him, but Longley getting it back and putting it in. That will help always when you're struggling. Here's the pickoff. Mark Jackson is having his trouble with deflections and then running it up the side of the floor. Mike deciding to go to the fall away. There's not much many people can do when that shot's falling. Larry Bird quickly calls a timeout.
Just 1 of 9 in the first half, but now the Pacers know the feeling of Pamplona pedestrians in the month of July. The running of the Bulls has trampled them, now with 16 straight points.
I like that.
So the Pacers trying to do anything now to regain composure. They go into Rick Smits. Another miss. Still scoreless in the third quarter are the Pacers.
And the biggest reason they're struggling is Mark Jackson's having a tough time getting the ball on the floor.
Now Luke Longley, an ill-advised shot that was sent straight back by Smits.
Reggie!
He loves to quiet the crowd, and he may have done so at least temporarily there.
I mean, once his feet are set, there's not much you can do. That shot gets off very quickly, and sometimes you lose them on transition. Pulls up for the deep three.
Chicago is yet to hit a three. Jordan gets it back now from Pippen. Fade away on the baseline. Michael making up for lost time. Coming on strong in the third quarter.
And you can see the aggressiveness starting to pick up. Got away with throwing it out and then repost for the fadeaway.
Jordan, rather, Pippen made the attempt on Jackson. Jackson beat him, but they could not convert.
Yeah, here you're going to get a bailout by Michael, but then going right back to him. He's already in the triangle. There's not much left you can do. Once he squares up, look at that fall away right there. When that shot is falling, he is awfully difficult to stop.
Chris Mullen into the lane. With 1 on the shot clock, Reggie buries the three. Two of the best, most clutch postseason performers going head-to-head in this series, Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller.
And what's interesting is Reggie's guarding Mike, but Mike's not guarding Reggie, so Reggie has an opportunity, Michael has an opportunity to rest when he's coming down the defensive end.
Inside the Longley. Could not hit from point-blank range. It's a three-point Bulls advantage. Mark Jackson. Mullen for three. Hard off the iron. Here comes Pippen.
Look for the trail.
The trail is Harper again. Oh, he can't convert this time, but will go to the free throw line. Great call, partner. We have seen Pippen do that earlier on the secondary break.
Yeah, and sometimes the most dangerous guys in trail. But look right here. The shot off right before the clock goes down. I I mean, that's a rainbow. That's not a line drive. That's going actually as high as the shot clock on the back of the backboard.
So often we forget what Ron Harper can do for you, and as a forgotten man, he's 5 of 7 from the field.
Yeah, when I was in the league, when I first got in the league, he was so dangerous. He could jump as high as a lot of the guys that were high flyers then.
Longley with the offensive rebound, and he is fouled. That looked like Smith.
Yeah, Indiana, they cannot afford those second chances. As I said in the first half, they've been out-rebounded throughout the playoffs, but yet they still won because their execution is so good. But with a team like Chicago, you cannot afford to give them those easy opportunities, especially easy putbacks when the ball just is laying on the rim. Go up and get it.
Luke Longley at the free throw line has his 7th point of the game. A pensive Phil Jackson has to like the effort in the second half versus the first.
And what happens, too, is after these free throws, now watch the press come, because now they feel like they have them on their heels, and here it comes trying to take the ball out of Mark's hands. And this just takes time off of the shot clock where Mark has to walk it backwards up the floor.
Impressive to see Scottie Pippen get down low and dog the point guard all the way up the floor. That sets up the Harper steal. Left-hand shot goes. Ron Harper now has 13.
Boy, what a difference a series makes. I mean, Mark Jackson lit up New York, and now he's struggling just getting the ball over half court. Scottie picks up a foul. But I'll tell you what, Scottie will give you that foul because he's giving you the energy. Look at Hart racing around these picks. You don't see Scottie giving up the effort, but that's who the steal should go to. Although Ron Harper finishes right there. It's team basketball, and they are working it right now.
Some people have referred to Jordan, Pippen, and Harper's extending defenses, releasing the Dobermans, and that's what we have seen here to start the third. Blocked by Scottie Pippen. Back to Smith, and he travels. Everywhere you look, there appears to be a white jersey closing in on a lane.
And as you said, we talked about during the break, Chicago's going for the jugular now, and maybe a little too soon, but why not go for it if you have the opportunity? They haven't played well in the first half, but look at the turnovers. Indiana's only been averaging about 12 turnovers a game. They're already at 17, and we are just halfway through the third quarter.
Michael was allowed to face up, and he missed the jumper. Mark Jackson speeding it up the other way. He can't seem to shake Scottie Pippen.
Well, he's got that high dribble, and Scottie feels that he can pick him, and he's sticking his hand in there. Mark's going to have to be able to knock down something or get it to somebody.
Smith.
Got him.
Pippen with another steal off to Jordan. A 3-on-1 break, and Michael just flushes it down. A textbook job of harassing defense, spurred on by Scottie Pippen.
Indiana has to respond. If they don't, this game will be over.
19-3, the Bulls have outscored the Pacers in the third, and they lead by 10. Out there against Mark Jackson, and he has disrupted this Pacer offense, to say the least. Rick Smith spinning, lost it. Dale Davis, 4 on the shot clock. Poked away again, loose ball, scramble. The Bulls win it. Pippen has to save it back in, stolen back by Jackson. 3-on-2. Davis back to Jackson. That breaks a 25-6 Bulls run dating back to the second quarter.
And Indiana was lucky to get that one back, Mark Jackson. More importantly, expect them to continue Chicago to run this triangle.
Jordan, a little short on the finger roll. Before that Mark Jackson hoop, the 6 from that 25-6 run, all provided by Reggie Miller on 2 threes, so there was nothing going for the Pacers.
And at some point, Mark's going to have to look to take Scottie to the basket. You cannot allow a guy to pick you up full court and not take advantage.
That time he goes to the hoop, but it rattles out. Here comes Kokoc. It's an 8-point Bulls advantage. 4.5 to play in the third quarter. Still plenty of time left despite the recent Chicago dominance.
Chicago's working the ball around. Tony to the basket. Awkward.
And gets it down, rolling hard to his right, shooting back with his strong hand, the left, back to a 10-point edge. Mark Jackson given a little room this time by Pippen. Mullen and a whistle away from the basketball. Well, that came from underneath. It'll go against Ron Harper.
And Kokoc right here, although that looks awkward, it falls for him. And he's complaining about the non-call.
Pippen stripped again, and then the miscommunication. He didn't know where the ball was, and Jordan thought he was streaking down the court, so he threw it long.
Yeah, but what's really surprising is no one's back for Indiana at all.
Miller missed the three. Longley starting to assert himself on the boards. And Phil Jackson and the Bulls want a timeout at 20 seconds to talk this one over.
Well, no, Scotty got hit in the face, and I think they didn't want him to go down and pass out or something, so they decided to call a timeout. And those are some of the things that they quickly look for when a player is hurt. They want to get him looked at right away, and that was the timeout. It was called for that reason.
Chip Schaefer, the Bulls trainer, checking him out. Here's a look inside the numbers to perhaps some keys. Wow. Only 3 free throw attempts for Indiana to 23 for the Bulls. And look at those hustle numbers, the offensive rebounds, the steals, and points off turnovers.
Well, when Indiana looks back on this game, if they lose, they're going to regret because they had this game in hand. And it's been on Michael Jordan. He decided to turn it up. And no one else has matched his intensity, and where's Reggie Miller? Here we're going to see a package of him. That's a nice pick in the tongue wag for the finish. Then he comes back. Chris Mullen, I can score on Chris Mullen. Then he gets it for Reggie Miller. He fades away from the corner. And just a little two-handed dunkaroo.
There is a first half comparison. 1 of 9 in the first half. He has responded well in the second. Jordan setting up Longley from the corner. Luke Longley now with 10 points of his own. Chicago has their largest lead of the game at 12. Miller missed the driving shot. Rodman back into the game. The rebound and the quick outlet.
And look for Michael.
Jordan. Oh, Michael Jordan lulled him to sleep and then went airborne.
Wow.
Chris Mullen, fadeaway jumper after the bump on Jordan. That is the first basket for Chris Mullen.
Yeah, Michael could live with that one. If he wants to take another one, they could play horse.
Jordan sets up Longley again. This time Luke with the miss. A rare unconverted opportunity here in the third quarter for Chicago. Mark Jackson guarded by Tony Kokoc this time. Mullen lost it on the way in. It was Jordan who knocked it free. The officials say Mullen touched it last.
Yeah, I don't think the refs saw that Michael Jordan got his hand in there. The ball rolled out of bounds. I think they figured that Mullen just basically ran into the guy and it fell out of his hands. But how about the defense by Michael?
A 15-point differential this quarter. Jordan has 10 of his 16. And we're not done in the third yet. Longley holding out high. Kokoc with 4 on the shot clock. Turnaround jumper is long. Antonio Davis into the game. Stolen back by Kokoc. Sets up Rodman, who's fouled hard by Davis.
Excellent pass right there to Rodman. And Rodman perfectly to Michael here. Look at this. Mark Jackson gets out of the way. So much for being 30 and above. Look at the takeoff.
Never get sick of seeing that sight, unless you're the opponent, of course. Here's a look at what Michael has done this season in the season series. Only 1 game over 30 points.
Yeah, but it's the free throws that really adds up to all the stats. Even when he's having a bad day, if he gets to the free throw line or gets those easy buckets, he's going to get you 30 plus.
scoreless in the second, and Jordan came out with a vengeance, as did Scottie Pippen, and they spearheaded this third quarter comeback.
And I think the credit should go to Dennis Rodman, because when the team had no energy, he was the only guy that came out and played, carried over.
Exactly. We talked about the 6-0 run to end the second half. That was all Dennis Rodman.
Definitely. And Mark Jackson has got to get a speed dribble from somewhere to get the ball up the floor a lot quicker, because they're ending up taking bad shots.
Good passing between the Davises. Dale setting up Antonio, who will go to the free throw line. Tomorrow you'll see ESPN.
And you know what might help Mark Jackson right now? As if Jalen Rose come and help him bring the ball up the floor and then go back and get it. You can't expect him to continue under this harassment and not turn the ball over. How about the game plan of the Bulls to go out and attack Mark Jackson and say, we're going to make someone else beat him?
And attack they did, harassing him up and down the court, forcing turnovers. Scott Burrell has checked into the Bulls lineup, and he and Pippen will play together.
And if you notice, when Mark presses Scottie Pippen, who's playing point forward, Ron Harper comes back and he helps bring the ball up. And then they get right into the triangle, but he walks.
So a rare turnover by the Bulls here in the third. They have forced an incredible amount. 15 steals in the game already. That is an unbelievable number.
Mark's got to take it to him one time to show him that he can get by him. Here we go.
Well, he did get by him, and Pippen appeared to toy with the block shot, but they're going to say he got him with the body.
Oh, that thing I keep saying, and I play point guard, you cannot have a guy for the whole game just stay on your back without at least trying to go by him to show him that you can beat him. And Mark, I mean, he looks slow, but he's not that slow. What really slows him down is he's really looking to create for everyone else. And when you do that, that's what's making him back the ball up, and they're getting it over barely with just about 14, 15 seconds on the clock.
Jackson hits the first one. Look at his regular season stats. He has struggled against the Bulls. Fewer points, lower field goal percentage, and more turnovers.
Well, when you put somebody bigger, I mean, Mark Jackson, they enlist him at 6'4". He's about 6'2 and a half. You put somebody bigger on him, and then you slow him down because now he cannot get out and run. And no one likes to be harassed for 48 minutes. Makes it tough for him.
And he gets both. Still double-digit deficit facing the Pacers. Approaching the 1-minute mark to play in the third. Jackson now had to switch. Knocked away by Derek McKee. Kokoc mad at himself for the turnover. Reggie Miller gets by Kokoc, fires up the shot quickly as the whistle sounded. The foul will go on Kokoc.
But if you notice, Mark Jackson was the key to that play. Not only picking it off after the deflection, but getting it quickly up the floor so that Reggie Miller could get a good look without having to set up. And what happened was right there was Scottie Pippen was not there to guard Mark, so Mark could get that high dribble galloping down the floor, and now he has everyone at his mercy, and he's hard to stop, and he got it right to Reggie. And then obviously it makes Reggie that much more deadly.
Reggie has always been deadly from the free throw stripe, where he is now well into the mid and high 80s as a free throw shooter. Here's a look what he's done regular season and then career, always stepping it up in the postseason.
Yeah, and the great ones do. You know, and quite honestly, in a couple years when they redo the top 50, you can add him onto this list because a lot of the games that he has developed, regardless of his weight or his size, has been sheer guts and will. And he's gotten better, and he understands how to get to the next level.
Left a little money on the table. A missed free throw is a rarity for Miller. A 9-point Chicago lead. They have the basketball. Final 47 seconds of the third quarter. Bulls back into their triangle. Harper feeling the confidence. Misfires on the 2. And a whistle, loose ball foul will go against Chicago.
As much as Chicago attacks Mark Jackson, it's okay, I feel, for Indiana to come down and take advantage of Tony Kokoc. I mean, he's a terrific player, and he's skilled offensively, but you look at the bench staff in Indiana, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. And, I mean, I don't care if the guy that Kokoc is guarding get 10 straight shots. He should not be on the floor trying to guard a McKee or Davis or any of the Davis boys, because they should be able to go right around them or at least muscle through them.
McKee hits the first free throw. That is Dick Harder to the right of Larry Bird. Bird has kind of employed an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator in his first year, much like a football team would have, and Harder is the defensive specialist.
Yeah, but they're more efficient, too. You don't have 12 assistant coaches doing nothing and everyone backstabbing each other. If everyone understands their role, then I think you get everything accomplished without all of the drama.
Kokoc guarded tightly by McKee. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Kokoc. Faced up on Derek McKee. The ball was tipped out of bounds over the far sideline, and it was Reggie Miller who touched it last, so the Bulls will have another chance.
The key to the Bulls, obviously, is to get Kokoc off on his second unit. So this has been the first time in a long time that I've seen the second unit without Scottie Pippen on the floor or Michael Jordan to assist them when the clock goes down. They bail them out. Neither one of them's on the floor. They're going to have to really depend on each other.
Steve Kerr, limited minutes, runs into problems and turns it over. Reggie misses the three. That could have been a big dagger. And Kokoc with the half-court shot at the buzzer. So the Bulls avert a bit of a downside to the end of the third quarter. They have given up some of their lead, which at one point was 14 points, but have utterly dominated in the third quarter. And they will take a 7-point lead over the Pacers. Ready to start the fourth quarter of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It's the Bulls and Pacers, and the Bulls take the 7-point advantage into the fourth quarter.
And this is after the shot. You didn't get a chance to see the replay, but it's a tale of two halves right now. You see, Chicago's obviously taking it up a notch, and Indiana is now, you got to look to respond, and they're still in this game.
Reggie Miller getting really not a lot of help from Chris Mullin. Jordan not from Pippen either, but Pippen has done it on the defensive end. He hasn't had to score to be an impact on this game in the third quarter.
And on the other side, for Mullin, he's not going to get, if Mark Jackson doesn't get him the ball open look, he's not going to be much of a factor. The speed is obviously not there the way it used to be, if he had any at the time, and he's not going to be able to create his own shot.
Jordan, pull up from just outside the free throw line. Dale Davis corrals the rebound. Rick Smith's not in the game right now, has not scored since early in the second quarter. That was back when things were going well for the Pacers.
This is where I think Indiana feels they have the advantage with the bench, and they have to now try to cut this lead down.
Tough shot, McKee. Jordan made him work for it, but Derek McKee got it down, and just like that, a 9-0 Pacer run has this thing back to 5, which is certainly manageable.
Yeah, and how about Jordan standing his ground on the post-up of a bigger player?
Now Jordan gets into the post himself, kicks it to Burrell from the baseline, way off the mark, and a loose ball foul will go against Chicago.
You know, and I told you, Scott Burrell has not been to this level before, and I said to you that he probably would not be a factor. That is the 5th foul on Dennis, and now you're going to see Dickie Simpson come in the game as Dennis goes out. 5th foul, that's tough.
He has helped spark.
Kokoc has got to lift some weights in the offseason. His game is going to stop where it is if he doesn't physically get himself in better shape.
Here is a look ahead at the rest of the Eastern Conference schedule. Tuesday they will play at Chicago. Then it will be 3 days off before resuming the series next Saturday in Indianapolis.
You know, and with the days off, who it helps more than anybody is people like us who's trying to cover it and find stories to write about. The players want to get right back at it, never mind 3 days off.
So a double-double today for Antonio Davis, but it's a double-digit deficit facing he and the Pacers now with 2 minutes to play in Game 1.
And what happens is when they go into this triangle offense, they look for Michael to carry him with under 3 or 4 minutes to go. And here you're going to see him get in the post-up. And if you don't come get him, it's going to make it tough for him to stop.
short on the turnaround, but he ties up Jackson and takes it right away from him, adding insult to an already injured ego.
And how about Ron Harper? You talked about guys caring about the team first, not about the stats. Giving up a wide-open three-pointer to get it to his franchise player.
Jordan missing from the baseline. Rebound number 11 for Antonio Davis. Mark Jackson will have to do some soul-searching before game 2. Smith sets up his turnaround and hits. He's got 9.
Well, I think if they decide to help Mark Jackson out, the soul searching will not necessarily have to last as long, but if he has to be the one to bring that ball up, he's been doing it the whole season, then yes, he's going to have some long nights trying to figure out how do they get around Scottie Pippen.
Pippen in a post-up. Step back jumper blocked by McKee. And then he takes it right back from Antonio Davis.
Look for the launch.
But all during that time, the shot clock was ticking, and a 24-second clock violation.
One thing you can be rest assured when you're watching this game come Tuesday is that Indiana will play much better. This is all a learning process, and that's why they play 7 games instead of 1, because you got to give teams an opportunity to at least get back into the series and respond and actually learn what it takes to win at this level.
Bulls not out of the woods yet, 8-point advantage, but Reggie Miller is still on the floor. Jackson to the baseline. Some soft defense and puts it in.
And finally, he gets a clean look at the basket, but Scottie that time backed off from him. Scottie, as you said, go soft on him. He's got to continue to be aggressive, though.
Final 30 seconds. The Pacers have decided not to foul, just to play tight defense.
And he's going to take every shot. I mean, they might as well just cash this in.
Off the fake. No foul called. Longley, though. Offensive rebound. That is huge. 10 seconds left, and the Pacers will just let it play out.
Michael Jordan has showed you why he is at the top of the class. But trust me, Mark, Larry Bird will have an answer come Tuesday.
So Reggie Miller and his Pacers will have to go back to the drawing board. They got out to an early lead on the Bulls, but the Bulls come roaring back to take game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final, 85-79. We will be back to wrap it up in just a moment.